right, welcome back to episode 2 for the Friends in Faith Collective. I'm Sam.
I'm Marina.
And today we're talking about, are you leaving a legacy? So jumping into it, when you hear the word legacy, maybe you're thinking of monetary values or things that maybe you're leaving behind. But that's not the type of legacy that we're talking about today. Mm-hmm. Today we're talking about the long-lasting impact that you're leaving on others.
So one of the things that kind of always poses in my mind, and I asked Sam this not too long ago, so many of us struggle with our purpose and kind of, what's my purpose in life, right? Or what, I say this often, but I'm a big believer on what kind of impact you want to leave. And so in struggling with that, I know personally for myself, I've stumbled upon that question many times of why am I here? What should I be doing? And I kind of refer back to, and I know this is kind of a deep question or a deep thought, but I kind of revert back to so many positive things and so many good things are said about us at our funeral when we pass away. Mm-hmm. Our eulogy, people are talking about, oh, this person was so kind. They would give the shirt off their back. And it just makes me wonder what it is exactly, what do you want said about you at your funeral?
And that question hits hard, right? I mean, I hope nothing but good things.
Yes. I think I think we all do. And it's when you think about that and really marinate on that question, what is it that you want to have said about you, about your funeral? And then going backwards, are you living that?
Right.
Are you living that in your everyday, in your actions, in your words? For me, I would hope at the end of my time that people would say, I loved Jesus because this is my purpose. I want no one to ever question these 3 things about me. Mm-hmm. My love for the Lord, my love for my family, and that I genuinely love and care for people deeply.
Yeah.
And if people can say that about me, then I know I'm living out that purpose and I'm making an impact and I can continue to strive in living my everyday life that way.
Yeah.
And so I want to ask now you that question, Sam.
Gosh. I don't know. I don't know that I've sat and pondered with it, long enough to really have to be able to put it into words. But I know that when I think of that question, it brings tears to my eyes because at some point in time in our lives, that's going to come. And we're not going to be here to hear, right? We're not going to be in the audience for that. Mm-hmm. And, if we woke up every day and had that thought, what would our day look like? If I woke up every day and thought, what are the things that I want someone to say about me in my eulogy or at my funeral or at the end of my life? What are the things I want to hear someone say about me or hope that they say about me? And then what actions am I taking to follow that up? Am I doing those things? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that I'm in a point in my life right now, if I'm being completely transparent, that I am. I think that there are some things that I do that people see about me that I try to put out there, but truly to my core who I am, I don't give that piece of the puzzle to a lot of people. And that comes from, past things that have happened and hurt and pain that, others have caused and that I've caused myself. And so I retract a lot of that. And I've learned, especially being so new and being married, that's something that I love so much about my husband, is that I truly am 100% my authentic self. And I have started to realize, gosh, it makes me emotional thinking about it, that I started to realize that the teeny tiny 5-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old version of Sam, he's the one person that has brought that back out in me. And I haven't seen her in such a long time, but that's the person that I want people to see. And that's the person I want to be remembered for when it comes to the end of my life and at my eulogy is that I was fun and weird and wasn't afraid to take a chance, or wasn't afraid to speak up for myself or to stand up for someone else. You know, like, I don't know, just, I don't know. I want people to see the 8-year-old version of Sam, because wow, she was cool. And it's been a really long time since I've seen her. And I just said to my husband a few days ago, probably last week, I said, gosh, I'm going to cry. I said, I haven't heard myself laugh like that in a very long time. And I want more people to see that, you know. And in our last episode, we talked about community and building community. And like in that episode, I was talking about, you know, I don't need community and I'm cool on my own and I'm happy being, you know, a hermit crab. But I wasn't when I was younger. Mm-hmm. I was very social and you couldn't get me to stop talking. I mean, my report cards would always say, girl talks too much and she can't sit still. And I grew up dancing, so I would stand next to my desk and do all my tap dances, my time steps, all my routines. I would just stand there and I'm, you know, doing class and standing there by my desk, and I was just weird and silly. And I need to bring that person out more within community and building friendships and in my marriage and in my relationship with my parents and, you know, future family and all of those things. I need to focus on that, because if I continue on the path that I'm on, that I've been on, gosh, all of my 20s, I don't know that I'm going to like what's said at my funeral. I don't know that I'm going to like what's said at my eulogy, because I didn't really like that version of me very much. And so, you know, 2024, turning a new leaf and hoping that that's something that I'm more aware of. And I hope that I remember this conversation. Maybe I need to put a sticky note on my mirror, you know, to remind myself that what do I want said about me? And what am I doing about that today? Because I'm not sure that I am.
That's beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing that. And this is what this is about, is being, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and to be authentic.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny as you're mentioning that 8-year-old Sam that you're wanting to tap back into and that you haven't seen for a very long time. It's just life on how when we're children, like we say we want to be this person. We say we have so much confidence in the things that we do. We laugh and we're weirdos, like you said, and just, we don't care what people think. No. We're just kids and living life, and really that's all that matters. And somewhere along the lines of us growing up, we're told that we're too weird, or our laugh is funny, or that we need to settle down, or that we're too hyper, or we're too sensitive, or all these things that were in us as a child that we didn't care about, that we were just living life to the fullest. Now life gets, as we get older, gets at us and says, you can't be these things, but you can be these things. You can't be this thing. And I think somewhere along the line of that, we do lose a sense of our true, authentic self, because sometimes we're so worried about what other people think, or we're taught even from, gosh, our parents and our family of like, no, this is the way you need to be and you need to stop acting this way. We lose a big piece of that.
Yeah, totally.
You know? And so it's a beautiful reminder to me that when God calls us to tap into that inner child, to also have that childlike faith. You know, he wants us to depend on him and to trust in him like a child depends on their parents for everything. Right. They don't need to think about, you know, when their next meal is going to come, or, you know, the clothes that they're going to be put on their backs and that kind of thing. And God wants us to have that childlike faith, and he wants us to continue into how he created us. He created Sam, that silly Sam. Yeah. He created that Sam who likes to dance at her desk. And somewhere along the line, someone's voice silenced that.
Yeah.
It could have been your own. It could have been a parent. It could have been an aunt or uncle. It could have been a teacher. Mm-hmm. And yet we allowed those voices to kind of make that lasting impact. And it's just, I don't know. I'm so just embracing this getting older because we're able to develop and find things about ourselves that we held back for so long, you know? And that's just it. Like the impact, what kind of impact do you want to leave? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? And, you know, like you mentioned in the start of this video, we're not just talking about with our families. For me, for my children, like, yes, there's a legacy that I want to leave. There's things that I want them to know and to grow up knowing through me living that life of example, but also this connection with, you know, this community of women that we are looking to create and build upon, because so many of us, like I've said before, are struggling with who am I? What is my purpose? What exactly am I here on earth for? And first and foremost, God created you. He created you with a purpose. He loves you. He has a plan for you. And I just don't want anyone to ever go about their day not knowing what it is their purpose is for. Look into your Bible to see what it is exactly that he has for you and why he created you.
And leaving a legacy, like you were mentioning, doesn't have to be friends or family or children. If you have them, you can be leaving a legacy on a stranger, right? Walking by somebody, you know, just giving a compliment or waving or a smile or something could truly change someone's day. And, you know, I wish there's so many times in my life where I've passed by somebody, or like I had it happen recently. I was driving home from work one day and I looked over into the car next to me and it was a guy by himself, completely jamming out, enjoying his own moment with whatever song he was listening to, and I could feel his energy, and I was just like, wow, okay, yes. You totally changed my day. I changed this music I was listening to, put something else on, and it just completely changed the rest of my day. Instead of driving home with the mundane, regular, today this, today that, you know, this person said this and it irritated me, or whatever the case may be, you know, it just sucked that right out and put me in a different, you know, spot. And we have truly no idea what anyone else is going through, ever. Even our closest friends and family, you know, a lot of times don't know. And just giving some small, teeny, tiny piece of an olive branch, it can be just a little twig with a leaf on it, you know, that might be enough for somebody. And that's important and it matters. And no matter what the scale is, large, small, medium, whatever the case may be, our actions and how we treat other people and how we treat ourselves really does matter. And at the end of our life, that's going to come up.
And I like how you mentioned that, you know, a stranger also, because one of the beautiful things about social media and these platforms that we have now is that some of the connections that we will be making will be with complete strangers, someone that may be in a different state or even a different country, that will log on and something will just connect them with a story that we've shared, being able to give them hope. And I mean, I know I can speak, I'm sure for both of us, that we have that same thing on our social media. I have women that I follow that have made a tremendous impact on how I view certain things and how I want to go after certain goals and things like that. And the girl doesn't even know me and she's in another state, you know what I mean? And so that's the beautiful thing about it too, is you tapped on it, is a lot of times this impact will also involve complete strangers that we don't know. Yeah. And sometimes they end up becoming friends, but you just never know who you're going to impact.
Yeah. Yeah. And how cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, we hope that this, you know, creative outlet that we're building for ourselves. I mean, we're doing it, for ourselves and in hopes that we're touching other people's hearts. But, if we meet some really cool people out of it, like, bonus,
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. As much as I love being a hermit crab, like, I'll keep going back to that, but I am looking forward to it. So,
And if you like to dance, we do too.
yeah, cue the outcast. Also too, outside of just worldly, regular, everyday life, within that as well, are we truly sharing God's word? Are we sharing the gospel?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something for me, being so new, in my faith and in my walk with God, and is, how do I do that? It's not something I know how to do very well yet, and I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a great outlet for that, and I'm excited about that. Mm-hmm. What do you think are great ways?
Well, I mean, this is going to be a platform that we can share just honestly what he's done in our lives. Mm-hmm. It's a thing that he's helped us overcome, as well as what his word says about it, always bringing it back biblically. But also, I remember hearing a quote somewhere along the lines that says, without ever opening your mouth, will people know that you're a follower of Jesus? Mm. And sometimes it's not so much words that we're speaking, it's the lives we're living. Are we living that life to reflect God? Are we living like him? Because ultimately, that's what our goals as believers are, right? Is to live more like Jesus, love like Jesus, see people through Jesus's eyes. Are we living that out? Mm. People should be able to see that in our lives that know us and that are around us. I know some of you guys are not at this moment in time, but are we living our lives to reflect that? People should be able to know there's something different about Sam.
Yeah.
There's something different about Marina. She's not like the other girls. She's not going around and gossiping. She's not going around and backstabbing, or being malicious or anything like that. Like, we should be able to, the way we're living our lives, be a reflection of God without even having to open our mouths.
Yeah. And I think we should do an episode on what it is to be a woman of God. Mm-hmm. And I have people in my life who I have reached out to when I first heard the Holy Spirit and first had that moment, and wow, the moment is loud and massive. And it's something that most people don't forget, is that first connection with the Holy Spirit, and mm-hmm. who I reached out to at the time, and it was like, this is an example of a godly woman that I know, and I'm coming to you like with nothing, mm-hmm. and I need guidance, mm-hmm. And maybe that's something that we should touch on, because for me, that was quite a few years ago, and I fell off the wagon for a bit, and fell in love and got married and here I am, I'm back. But, mm-hmm. It's still, that's something that's so prevalent, and something that I think about all the time is, am I doing the work to become a good example of a godly woman, so that I'm doing what someone else did for me, so mm-hmm. that I can be someone who someone else comes to and is like, hi, I need guidance. Mm-hmm. I'm coming to you, and I need to know, mm-hmm. And, I think that would be a great episode for us to kind of touch on that.
Absolutely. And there's a part in the Bible, in Proverbs 31 woman, we can definitely reflect on and share some guidance from there.
Cool. I like it.
What better way to find it than in the Bible, right?
Yep, 100%. So on my mirror, I'm going to put a sticky note that says, what do I want people to say about me in my eulogy? And am I being a godly woman? Or am I striving to be a godly woman?
That's a great one. And by the way, ladies, do not think that that's a silly thing. I have Post-its on my mirrors. Those are beautiful reminders. I mean, what better way? We're looking in the mirror every morning getting ready, right? Having those reminders and those manifestations mm-hmm. right up in our face.
Well, yeah, affirmations can be such a strong foundation to stand on, because mm-hmm. if you've never stood and looked in the mirror at yourself without breaking eye contact for a good 30 seconds, give it a try. It's hard.
It is very hard.
And if it doesn't bring tears to your eyes, like, I don't know. It did to me the first time I did it. And so sticking these notes up on there, right? Every morning we get ready, right? We wake up, brush our teeth, take a shower, whatever your routine is, whatever order it falls into. But at some point in time, you are standing in front of a mirror looking at yourself. And a lot of times we're not making eye contact. We're just doing whatever we need to do, going through the motions and moving on. So throw some sticky notes up there. If it's on your bathroom mirror, your bedroom mirror, wherever is best for you, on the back of your door, whatever's best, it works. I am enough. I am complete. I am whole. I am smart. I'm funny. Whatever it is that you need, I am confident. It's good. They work. I've tried it.
Side note on when you touched on that before you get into your next part. Staring at yourself in the mirror, like she says, it is incredibly hard. I remember one time looking at myself in the mirror, and man, when I looked at myself in the mirror for the first time, I want to say probably ever, I saw myself as the little Marina. And I was like, whoa, where did that come from, Lord? And I get emotional because there's so much stuff that just goes on as a child that you don't realize that carries into your adulthood that you've got to work through and you've got to heal from and that kind of thing. And so getting watery eyes right now, but just, it is crazy the impact, how powerful it is for you to just stare at yourself in the mirror, make that eye contact. Like she said, try it. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's
try
powerful.
it, and then leave us some commentary. Let us know if you've tried it. Let us know if you use affirmations. How do they work for you? What are your affirmations, right? Something that I saw on Instagram that I wanted to bring up in today's episode was I had come across, actually I originally saw it through TikTok, through a creator. Her name is Josie. I believe her last name is pronounced Balka. It's Balka. She's a writer and a radio host, and she does these really cool readings of something she's written, and she sits down and she has like her own little studio space in front of a mic, and she just reads something that she's written, and so many of them are so powerful and moving. And this was something that originally a few months ago, when we kind of first sat down and talked about, are you leaving a legacy, and creating that as an episode, this instantly came to my mind because it was something I had just watched a few days prior, and I didn't forget it, and I still haven't forgot it. And it's been a few months since, and I've rewatched it quite a few times, and it felt, it touched home for me a little bit because it was something that, wow, I hope I make other people feel that way. And so in my legacy, this is something that I hope I make other people feel. And so I'm going to read it. And, eventually, once we post this and this video is out, I will also share the original video as well. But the creator and the original writer of it is Josie Balka. She says, I can't remember anyone I've ever seen at a public pool with such a memorable body, good or bad, that I think about it ever again. I've never been enamored by an attractive person in a bar or at an airport enough for them to grab my attention more than just the once. I've never thought, I wonder if that woman's jeans are a bigger size this year than they were last year. I've never sat at a table at a party and repeated a story about the way someone's arms looked in their tank top, or which notch someone had in their belt when I last saw them. When I talk about my friends, sometimes I will bother to note that they are beautiful, yes, but I will list the things that make them that way. They're funny and thoughtful, kind and caring, strange and lovely. Not their frame is small or their clothes are expensive, because it is one thing to want to be looked at and another to want to be known. I cannot wait for you to meet her. She's in such good shape. Doesn't roll off the tongue like, I can't wait for you to meet her because she's so nice and funny. You're going to love her. Some things are here to stay and some things are bound to go, and I promise you from the deepest part of my soul, you'll be remembered for the way that you are, not the way that you look. And that always, ever since I've seen it, I mean, it's only been a few months ago, but ever since I've seen that, that sticks with me, because I really could care less what someone looks like, or what size pants they wear, or what notch in their belt they have, or if they have, a little of this going on outside their tank top. It doesn't matter. I don't care about that. I care about what's in your soul and who you are in your heart. And I hope that people see that from me. I hope that the friends and family and acquaintances and coworkers and, people I see, quite frequently, I hope that they know that in my heart that that's truly who I am, and that that's what I truly am looking for in them, is that I never care about the surface level conversation. I don't care to talk about it. And someone can be mad about that, or I may be offensive in saying that, but I don't care. I don't care about the surface level, because it doesn't matter to me by any way, shape, or form. I want to know what's in your heart, who you are, what sets you on fire. Let's talk about it. Let's sit down and get deep on day one.
Man.
I don't want to know the rest.
And I'm just reminded of those exact words that you spoke to me several months ago when I had like my biggest ugly cry in front of you that I didn't even know was coming, but it did. And I remember you specifically saying those words to me. I don't care what your makeup looks like. I don't care what you look like right now. I just love seeing this Marina who is just letting it all out. Like me I just let it all out without fear of, after those words, of course, because I was holding back of just what's she going to think about me. We were in a public place, and yet you created that safe space for me to be able to, and seriously want to thank you for that, because you're living that.
I'm glad. I mean, gosh, if it was only just that one moment, but I truly don't care. If I can't see that version of you, then why are we friends?
Mm-hmm. You're going to make me cry.
You know what I mean? I want to know you for who you truly are under the skin. Like, not to be weird, but like, you know what I mean? Like, peel the skin off. What's inside your soul?
And it's so beautiful to share that from someone who always felt she had to be on for everybody all the time.
You don't. And if that's the only people you have in your life, is they have such high expectations of you to be on all the time, like, you've got the wrong circle, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
We're creating a new circle right over here. If
Yes.
you want to come in and have a seat, come on over, because it's deep over here, and
that's what we like.
Yeah, and it matters. And it comes from a place of love, right? Like, my husband and I have this conversation all the time, right? Because I love you, I'm happy to see this version of you, because I can't truly love who you are if I don't know that this is existing. Mm-hmm. And just as, like, right on the same side of the coin, you can talk about, holding somebody accountable, like, as your friend, and as vice versa. Mm-hmm. I would hope that you truly keep me accountable for things that I've mentioned are important to me. Mm-hmm. Or if you see me in an area where you're like, hey, Sam, you're kind of flubbing up here. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool. It's hard to hear, but
it's coming from a place of love.
Yeah. And I hope at the end, at the eulogy, that someone says, you know what, even if it's Sam held me accountable, you're right. I did hold you accountable, but I held you accountable because I care. Mm-hmm. And the circle that I have is so small. And it's something that I hope to expand in, is that, I've used the phrase before of, like, people will say, like, ripping the rug out from underneath you, right? Mm-hmm. I had the rug ripped out from under me once. Mm-hmm. And I was in my early 20s, and it rocked my world for about 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I always said, I will never, ever, ever, ever in my life give someone the rug again to rip out from under me, because I will not allow myself to be that again. But what I didn't know is that the rug that I was giving was the best part of me. Mm. And so I held on to that rug with every inch of my being for a very long time, because I wasn't going to let someone touch that vulnerable piece of me ever again. Mm-hmm. Until I met my husband. And then I was like, oh, okay, sure, you're kind of cute. Here's the rug, like you make me laugh and you bring out, all the best versions of me. And so, yeah, my getting married and in my marriage has been very healing for that portion of my life, as I'm seeing that not everybody's going to rip the rug out. Some people are going to really love and cherish the rug. Mm-hmm. It's a weird analogy, right? Like a rug, but I don't know why, but I always have stuck to that analogy. Like, I'll never let someone rip the rug out for me again. And I'm learning that the right people don't rip it out from underneath you. They take good care of it and they think it's awesome. Mm-hmm. I hope at my eulogy someone stands up and says, Sam has the coolest rug I've ever seen. This is a weird analogy, okay? Keep it clean. But I'm just saying. I'm
late response.
Yeah. It's okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. I hope that makes sense to other people as well. I'm going to get off the rug topic because that got weird.
Well, no, that was, it's awesome that you share that. And it's so true. I mean, we have an experience of a friend that it took me years to kind of get over myself. In order for us to build strong connections, we have to let those walls down. We have to allow a little bit of vulnerability to know that we can feel safe with that person and they can feel safe with us. And that's kind of hard because you don't want to get hurt again and you don't want to relive the past pains that you went through and stuff like that. But you have to put that on the line in order to experience something beautiful. Well, and I think that's self-reflection is a big key into the legacy and the impact that we want to leave, because if we don't know what it is that we want to live for or that purpose, then how can we make those changes within ourselves?
Mm-hmm. It's hard work. It's not, it's not just a no big deal type of thing. It's a big deal. And to be able to be self-aware, it's something that, I was in counseling for a lot of years, and it's something that I learned. And it's one of my greatest tools in my tool belt is that I am a very self-aware person, because when I wasn't, it was chaotic. Mm-hmm. And, you got to do the hard work, my friend. It is no bueno and not fun in the least bit. But I promise there is, beauty in the journey. And I can say that I am a very imperfect person and I've made a lot of mistakes, but I promise you that beauty within that journey, it's something else. It's so much better than being comfortable and stagnant, and the growth that you feel and the pride that you feel, and it's something else. So if you're not doing the hard work, I suggest that you should.
Before you should all over yourself.
Yeah, and if you need help, reach out. Don't be scared to reach out.
Yes, we'd love to connect with you and offer some hope, some prayer, and some friendship along the way.
Yeah, agreed.
What is the impact and the legacy you want to leave? And just remember to live that out every day, to wake up every day doing the things that you want to leave. If you want to be that kind person that would give the shirt off their back, then go out and buy some food or clothes for some homeless people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, plenty of people who keep bags in their car for some scenarios like that.
Yeah.
There's lots of things we can be doing to, what's that called when you pay it forward?
Yes.
There's lots of ways to do that. If you're unsure, Pinterest is a great search engine. Google. There's plenty of things out there for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for joining us, ladies. And don't forget to like and share. If this was any help to you or it encouraged you, feel free to share it along and leave us a comment.
Yeah. Are we at a point where we can say subscribe to our channel? Here? Right?
Sure.
Here's the button. I don't really know.
So subscribe. The Friends in Faith Collective.
See you guys.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.